Hey everyone, welcome back. And this is our assignment number 3. We'll be starting this on Thursday and Friday of week 31. Okay, and that is going to be from, I guess, the 12th to the 16th. So we'll be starting this on the 15th and the 16th. So this is actually a quiz, and let's take a look at the assignment here. So this is going to be the Appeasement DBQ, or the document-based question, quiz. And so it is a writing quiz. If you follow the instructions and look at the examples, you will probably not struggle so much with this, okay? So again, you should be watching this video and also following the instructions. I'm also going to give you an example and how to complete this quiz. Okay, so make sure you follow along and are kind of getting an idea of what you need to accomplish for this. Okay. All right, so we're going to click right here on the Appeasement DBQ quiz document, and the other one is just an example. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the Appeasement DBQ document. And so this document seems long. It really is not. You only have to answer a few questions and then write one paragraph. Okay, you're only really writing one paragraph. All right, so you could use a Nearpod presentation that we went through this week, which is the Path to War number 2, and it has lecture videos by Miss Orteg. And so make sure you kind of look at that. That will help you with this idea of what appeasement is. And then the below documents are actually what you're going to use as your sources to answer the argumentative paragraph at the end. Okay, so you're going to have some short answers, 8 to be total, 8 to be eight total questions, and there's different questions for each of the documents. So there's 3 documents. So make sure you read and then write one paragraph arguing for or against the use of appeasement in 1938. Make sure you use at least 2 out of these 3 documents. Make sure you use at least 2. Okay, that is either document A or document E, or you can use document B and document A. Okay, so you choose which ones you want to use for the writing at the end. All right, so I'm not going to read all of these sources to you, but I will show you the example, okay? So I will get to the example later, but each of these boxes, I just want to tell you this, each of these documents and these charts have some instructions on how to do it, okay? And then it has the document, as well as who is saying this. This is Neville Chamberlain. And there's actually some background here on who Neville Chamberlain is. He's also in our Nearpod. So if you go to the Nearpod, it'll tell you. And then this is the quote. This is actually what the actual source is, what they said. And it is in quotes. If you want to do air quotes, to let you know that this is what I'm going to be using to make my writing more supported and detailed and specific. That's fine, but this is actually the meat of it. So that's why it's actually in this kind of like pink kind of color, okay? Or kind of the meat kind of color. You also have a vocabulary list in case you need to figure out what words mean. And then, of course, you have the 3 questions, okay? So only document E has like 2 questions, but most of them come with 3 questions, and you just answer the 3 questions here, okay, in your responses, okay? All right, so fast forwarding, going all the way to the argumentative paragraph, this is actually the most important part. And you can see here's the sentence frame. And so the sentence frame is actually what you should be writing here, where it says write paragraph here. I am actually going to change the color of this because actually down here, I think it also should be this kind of beigey color because hey, you need to be writing in that, okay? All right, so you should be writing a paragraph in here and follow this paragraph frame, okay? So the sentence frame and the paragraph frame is here for you, and I'm going to be showing you that in the example for appeasement right now, and also be going through some questions. So if you're understanding how to get started on this, you can get started, but if you want to see the example, go ahead and we'll keep looking. I'll keep watching this video. All right, so for the example, The example is going to be a different document that you are not going to be needing to do. That's why I can give you the answers for this. And so I'm literally going to go through this document with you so you understand the best way to kind of attack this assessment or this quiz. Okay. All right. So this one I will read to you. Okay. This is Henry Chenin, and Henry Chenin, he was an American-born, okay, member of the House of Parliament in Britain. So he became a Parliament member of the country of Britain. They're getting a lot of Americans over there for some reason, or American-born Brits. And so in 1935, he was part of the lawmaking branch of Great Britain. And throughout his life, he always kept a diary, and it seemed like a lot of these guys did. And so maybe it was just something to do in that time. So he kept a diary, and this diary actually talks about the day that Hitler invaded the country of Czechoslovakia, which is March 15th, 1939. And this is actually after, okay, Great Britain has already made some sort of peace contract with Hitler. They say, hey, Hitler, we'll give you half of Czechoslovakia if you promise not to invade any more territories. And then on March 15th, 1939, he violated that. He just said, nope, you gave me half of Czechoslovakia. I want all of it. And he went in and he took all of Czechoslovakia. And so this quote is based on what Channon actually responded to. Okay. So here is what Channon says. Hitler has entered Prague, apparently, and Czechoslovakia has ceased to exist. No bolder departure from written bond has ever been committed in history. The manner of it suppresses comprehension, and his callous desertion of the Prime Minister is stupefying. The PM, or the Prime Minister, must be discouraged and horrified. I thought he looked miserable. His whole policy of appeasement is in ruins. Munich is a torn up episode. Yet, never has he been proved more abundantly right, for he gave us 6 months of peace in which he rearmed, and he was right to try appeasement. Okay? You don't actually have to annotate, but you can if it's actually relevant, and you can if it's going to help you. So I'm going to actually highlight something. I'm going to highlight this, okay? Because this last line really kind of tells you what he felt for appeasement. So before we get to that, I'm just going to add the comment of this is probably the most important line for some reason, okay? And so now you annotate it. You don't have to do it. We've been practicing annotation, and I really want you to do as much as you can, even though it's not really necessary, okay? So question 1 is asking, when was this document written? What has just happened? Okay. And so easy answer. That's an easy question. So easy answer. This document, so complete sentences please, was written in 1939. 1939. Today, 1939, 1939, on March 15th, day Hitler took the other half of Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia. Not even a country anymore. Actually, there's the Czech Republic, so maybe it is half a country. So you want to actually be as specific as possible. So I'm going to write, the document was written in 1930 on March 15th, the day Hitler took the other half of Czechoslovakia. Maybe you want to talk about the implications of that. And so what just happened maybe is something that you probably better explain. The event in which Hitler invaded country goes against what he uh, just signed in a peace treaty with Great Britain. And then maybe you want to talk about appeasement a little bit. With that, we understand that appeasement, according to appeasement, uh, is in ruins, according to them. Okay? And that doesn't mean like he didn't think that appeasement worked. He just felt like, well, uh, even though we try to appease Hitler, he still did exactly what he said he wasn't going to do. Okay, so why did China claim appeasement was the right policy? So looking at this question, we see that appeasement is still something that China believed was the right call, was the right thing to do. Okay, so how do we know that? Well, Shannon believed that appeasement was the right policy because he says he, meaning the prime minister, that's Neville Sinclair, the minister gave us 6 months of peace in which he rearmed. That's prudent. I mean, that's smart. Okay, so believe that with his civil rights policy because gave us 6 months of peace in which we rearmed. So his quote suggests that even if Hitler attacked, this time period brought the Allies at least more time in case they were double crossed. They were. So that was Shannon's claim, and his evidence was that well, in that time, like Great Britain wasn't idle. Great Britain was trying to get ready for an oncoming war. They rearmed. They used this time of peace so that they could get ready for war. And it was just again maybe a clever way to kind of keep Hitler busy. And in the end, like Great Britain was still able to defend its borders and defend its country because of that. Okay, and so we're kind of finding out more about what this kind of did. So what we're going to write here in the argument paragraph is probably towards the decision that appeasement was a great idea. So we're going to actually use. Okay, so let's go ahead and use uh, paragraph frame, please. And that will help you understand a little bit more of how to kind of write this. So we're going to do the paragraph frame starting with, well, some, I take off the highlight. While some may say the British decision to appease German aggression in Europe, this is where it gets tricky, was the whether the right policy or the wrong policy. So if you're supporting that it was a right policy, so because it's an argumentative paragraph, it's going to say the reverse first. Okay, so we're going to be disproving this idea that it was a wrong policy. Okay, so I'm going to write the wrong policy, even though I believe it was the right one. Okay, so this is just the way to kind of start it. This is called the counter argument. We're going to counter argue this. So just kind of pay attention to this. You're going to write a counter argument. So just kind of keep an eye on that. So wrong policy in 1938. Appeasement, okay, was the right policy. Okay, was the right policy. Some may say the British decision to appease German aggression in Europe was the wrong policy for England in 1938. Appeasement was, okay, the right policy. So that's how we want to do that. Okay, so I'm going to highlight that for you so you understand it. Okay, was the right policy because, okay, and you're going to give 3 reasons. Because Great Britain was still able to defend its country and I guess distract Hitler to making a mistake, right? So that's actually a very long answer, but uh, there's actually a lot in the war that actually occurred that caused this. Okay, so now we actually have to find some actual reasoning for this. So first, okay, the evidence of, and then we're going to use S1, which is actually, and so we only have one sourcing here, one quote here. So, yet never has been proved more abundant for he gave us 6 months. Okay, and so we'll use that for the first the evidence of, and then we're going to quote. First evidence of, yet has he been proved more abundantly right for he gave us 6 months, shows choice because canon, and try to use the, I guess the person that is speaking or the evidence from wherever document or whoever was speaking document. You want to actually make sure that you are quoting from them and using their words, not just your own, because there's probably more reasoning and more support if you are saying somebody else's words and this guy said it, this is what I believe it means, and this is how it supports my answer. Yeah, it never been poured more abundant for a given 6 months shows that choice because Channon recalls how this allowed and have some freedom in preparing and defending their country. So not just freedom, but time, preparing and defending the country from attack. Secondly, so the next one would be secondly, in addition, that's just part of the sentence frame right here. evidence of rearm. Okay, so we could just talk about and so I'm taking everything from only one source, and that's not what you want to do. But I just want to make sure that you understand that you want to take at least from two different sources, two different documents to help support each other. Okay. In addition, evidence of rearm was suggested in supports. Sorry, let's go back to the sentence. Right, supports what Cannon was saying about having time. Britain needed the time to call soldiers back into action and produce armaments for war. Okay. Finally, so you can see how we are using each part of that sentence frame and paragraph frame to kind of help support what we're saying. All right. Finally, and so you could paraphrase or quote. You could even use information from the source. Finally, the source entry is from Cannon's own diary from the day this event occurred. Okay? And what does that mean? It means that this illustrates that Cannon was present at this time, knew details what this event meant, and how was the right decision for Britain. In the end, appeasement might have made the difference in Great Britain not falling to the British. Sorry, German. Okay, so you don't need to actually have an ending sentence like I put in there, but it is actually a good idea to do so. Okay, so kind of read that over again and just understand that you want to kind of explain and argue towards what you felt was a good idea. Appeasement was a good idea, was it a bad idea, and give good reasoning. All right, hopefully that didn't run on too long, but this is definitely a way for you to write and also complete your assignment. Thank you for your time, guys, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask.